Hello and welcome to a new video. It's me, Martin, and today in this video I'm going to be sharing with you a real life lesson that I taught to a student, which was recorded online, of course, and it's an IELTS preparation class that I was teaching, and the material that I was using was from IELTS Academic Reading Practice and the book that I received from Prosperity Education. If you're not too sure about this particular book or what I'm talking about, I did blog about it and I did do a book review, so details are in the description below of this video. And the book itself, physical book, is this one here, and as you can see inside there's a variety of pages and what have you. But for the principles of this video, which is about 50 minutes, the actual lesson, I focused on the first chapter. And the chapter itself is about, if I go to it now, okay, the chapter itself is about matching headings, and fortunately I had the e-version available, so I was able to put it down onto a digital working format for the student, and then also have it available so that you could see it on the screen as well. If you do enjoy the video, if you enjoy the lesson, please let me know in the comments below, and also hit that subscribe button, why not? Anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, well, let me share the activity, the link for the Google activity in our chat. Okay, so you should have access to it.
Yes, I have.
Great. And the first thing we'll do is we'll have a discussion. So I've got 3 questions here, and the first question is, what do you think are the biggest environmental issues affecting the world at present?
In my opinion, the biggest environmental issues are the pollution and the climate change, all of the environment, and the things that people do to make it worse.
What sort of things do people do that could affect the like the environment and the climate?
Firstly, maybe it's not the biggest thing, but not recycle the trash.
Not recycling. You said trash, which is American English.
Yeah.
What's the British word?
I know, but I forgot.
Starts with RU.
Rubbish.
Rubbish. Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. So not recycling rubbish.
Rubbish. Yeah. Then buying the cars that are not eco-friendly. It's much better to buy electric or at least hybrid cars. I think that people need to start using the energy which is more natural, to use the nature to produce the energy,
Mm.
such as solar system or wind systems.
Solar, wind. Yeah.
Water, maybe. I'm not
Water.
sure.
Yeah, we have like water or what is it? Wave.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Which I was taught when I was really young. They had all this sort of eco-friendly type of energy. Yeah.
And
All
to
right.
designate from carbon and
Mm-hmm.
and how to say the source of energy from Emirates to produce the gasoline.
Oh, yeah. So it's like the oil. Is it the oil that
Yeah.
they use to manufacture petrol and various other products? Yeah, because that's quite well. It's not exactly environmentally friendly, is it? It's and we have this phrase to rely on oil or to have a reliance on oil. So I think people, especially in Europe and Americas and Asia, they have this huge reliance on oil and petrol because without it, everything stops. Did you see on the news recently in America they had a gas like a gas rig, but they also had a pipe going round the sea, and it started leaking oil, and it's already caused such a big impact on the wildlife and the sea. It's pretty bad.
There were the fire on the ocean, or on the ocean.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, well, what about the second question? Are you worried about climate change?
Yes, I am, because I care very much about our planet. And for me, it's one of the most important things to consider while thinking about our future.
Yeah. Okay. And well, we've already spoken about problems caused by climate change. No, well, actually, we've spoken about what causes climate change. You know, like the reliance upon petrol and oil, buying cars which are not eco-friendly, not recycling, etc. But what sort of things what sort of problems could arise from climate change?
Firstly, the change of the weather and the temperature.
Yeah.
The catastrophes like tsunamis or wind. Wind. I don't know what.
When the earth shakes, do you mean?
No. When the wind starts to make the spiral, very big.
Very common in America, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So hurricanes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The earth the earth. You know what? Yes, shaking. Earthquakes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
earthquakes. Yeah. What's happened in Spain recently on one of the islands?
No idea. What happened?
There's volcanoes as well.
Okay.
There was one
The
island
eruption.
where, yeah, eruption. That's the word. Yeah.
And then the ice of the north and the south of our planet is, I forgot the word again, is becoming the water.
It's becoming water. It starts with M.
Melting.
Melting, good, yeah. The melting of the Arctic and the Arctic and the
Antarctic.
Antarctic. Yeah, Antarctic. That's it. Yeah, very good. And this causes the rise of sea levels. Yeah. So the rise of sea levels, and so it becomes water, and the sea gets higher, and what could happen there?
The parts of some countries, some territories could being under the water cities.
Under the water. So some countries and territories could let me put this on the other page here. Some countries and territories could be submerged under the water. So to submerge is to go underwater, isn't it? If you have a bath, you go under the water in the bath, you submerge yourself in the bath. Yeah. Or the floods, or floods could occur due to the rise of sea levels. Yeah.
And the climate change does not have the great influence on other on animals, because many kinds of animals are gone already.
Yeah, so what do we call it? It starts with E. When the animals disappear, they're no longer there.
I forgot.
EX.
I don't know. Extinction,
yeah. So
extinction. Okay.
Yeah, so when all the animals or all humans die, it's extinction. Like the dinosaurs, yeah. Yeah. So extinction would be a noun. What would be the adjective?
Extended.
To be extinct. So this would be the verb. Yeah. Sorry, the adjective. And the verb?
To extinct. Extinct.
To extinguish.
Extinguish.
Yeah. It's a funny word because the verb, you would guess the verb would be like the adjective, to extinct, but no. And extinguish means to, like cigarettes. If you're smoking a cigarette, not that you would, but when people finish and they put their cigarette out, you could say they extinguished their cigarette. It's like they killed their cigarette. And and also extinguish, we have another noun coming from that, like fire extinguisher. Yeah. So this is if there's a fire, you have like a red thing, and you put it. It's got water or foam, and you extinguish the fire. You kill the fire.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Very good. So we've gone through quite a few and questions and some of the vocabulary. What I've got here below, if I just bring this up a little bit, what I've got below, different words, and we've got verbs, nouns, noun phrases, verb phrases, etc. What I'd like you to do is to try and have a look at the definition, the meaning, and try and think of what word would that connect with. So like stop taking part in something could be...
Could be withdraw, but it's not like stopped, but
it's actually to withdraw. You're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I'd like you to do is to go through the others. So we've done the first one together. Go through B to J and try and find the correct words that will go in and connect with the definition. Yeah. And I'll give you the link so you can go and do that. But I've put the link in the chat so you can access it there. And I'll keep an eye on how you're doing. And once you're done, we'll check our answers. Is that all right, Natalia?
Of course.
All right. Okay, so I'll see you shortly. Assume. So how was it, Natalia? Was it quite easy or a bit difficult?
Quite easy. I was thinking about 2 words, but quite easy.
All right.
I guess.
Well, let's have a look. Yeah. Let's have a look then. So we agreed that to stop taking part in something is to withdraw. So you could withdraw yourself from a competition or that sort of thing. And you said to ratify, make an agreement official by signing it. So let me have a look. To make an agreement official. Yeah, that's good. So I agree. An agreement between people or groups, usually a promise to do something. You said pact. Which is a noun. I agree. That's good. A formal agreement, you said collaboration. And let me have a look at this collaboration. No, I think this one is not correct here.
Okay, so it's gonna be accord.
Accord, yeah. So accord as a noun, that would be better, yeah. All right. Changing something in order to use it for a different purpose. You said adaptation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and this one I wasn't sure.
that's correct. It's a noun, and I agree. Yeah. Transparency, the state of being honest and clear in the way you do things. Let's have a look. Transparency, noun. Yep, I agree. So that's good. The release of gases that prevent heat escaping from the atmosphere. You said greenhouse gas emissions, and it's a noun phrase. Yeah, so that's good. I agree. Cause strong disagreement between people, divide opinion. A verb phrase. Let me just double check. Yep. I agree. It's a verb phrase, so that's good. Yeah. Yes. So this one,
So this
accord.
one,
yeah.
collaboration.
Collaboration. That's it. As a noun. Yeah. Okay. So, and then finally, mitigation, the process of reducing the damage or harm caused by something. And I agree. Yeah, that's good. So, yeah, well done. Other than accord and collaboration, all the others are correct, and I think that's perfect. Yeah, so well done. Here we've got withdraw as a verb. Any idea what the noun would be?
Withdraw.
Yeah, good. Withdrawal. Yeah. What about ratify? Can you think of any words related to that?
Ratification.
Ratification. I think it might be ratification, but I'm gonna double check because it's not a word that I tend to use that often. Yep, there we are, ratification. Okay. So a pact would be a noun, and what sort of verbs would connect with this noun? What sort of verbs would match?
To pact.
To pact.
To make a pact.
Yeah, to make a pact. That's good. To form a pact, or to create a pact. Those verb forms would be fine, and so this would be a verb phrase. Accord, we'll leave that. Adaptation we have here as a noun. What about a verb?
To adapt.
To adapt, yeah. Okay, so this one for F, transparency. Can you think of any other word?
To make, form, create, transparency.
Can you think of the adjective, maybe?
Transparent.
Yep, that's it. Transparent. So to be transparent would be the adjective. Transparent. Yeah, that's it. Greenhouse gas emissions, to divide opinion. Okay, let's have a look at the noun phrase. So the
divided opinion, division,
yeah, nearly, yeah, division of opinion.
division, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that would be the noun phrase. Okay, and then we got a collaboration. Can you think of the verb?
To collab.
To collaborate. Yeah, to collaborate. Mitigation here is a noun. What would be the verb?
To mitigate.
Yep, to mitigate. Yeah, so good, well done. Other than like this verb phrase turning into a noun phrase and this noun phrase here, greenhouse gas emissions, can't really change too much. But other than that, that's very good. Yes, so well done. What I'd like you to do next is if we go down a little bit further, you can see here you need to try and use the correct form in the gap. But you might need to change the word form. So if it's a noun, you might need to change it into an adjective or a verb or that sort of thing, okay? So if that's all right, Natalia, I'll leave you to carry on. You can access this again, and then we'll check our answers once you're done, okay?
Okay.
All right. So how are you getting on, Natalia?
I need to fill 3 gaps.
Okay.
And I don't know which word or phrase I forgot. Yeah. Okay, now I know. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, well done. Okay, let's go through each of these. So the countries will meet next week to ratify the agreement. That's good. Well done. Injury force player to withdraw from the competition. Good. People expect transparency from politicians, hence the financial scandal came as a shock. Okay, the Prime Minister's decision to ban the sale of alcohol during the pandemic. So this is a long subject. It's such a long subject, yeah? And what we need after this big subject is a verb, okay, rather than a noun.
Divide.
So the Prime Minister's decision to ban the sale of alcohol during the pandemic. Now, because we're reporting, like on the news, they tend to use the past tense when they're reporting on something. Yeah.
Divided.
So here, yeah. So, but this one here, so I'll just highlight it. It's such a big subject. Normally for subjects, it's like he, she, we, they. But this one is just it provides the entire subject. So the Prime Minister's decision to ban the sale of alcohol during the pandemic, divided opinion. It's
of
very.
Course, of course, I focused on the pandemic, and that's the reason why I thought it's a noun, because the pandemic.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, not to worry. Moving on, the use of low carbon fuels is one way to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And again, I agree with that. Hand sanitizer and the use of face masks were common strategies to adapt to the spread of COVID-19 in the workplace. Yep, I agree. That makes sense. The two children made a pact to be friends forever. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Spikes for protection and long routes for absorbing water are two important mitigations that help cactus survive in the desert. Spikes for protection. That sounds a bit strange to me. It makes sense. It's grammatically correct, but I just want to double check my answers. I can see a peace accord between two countries is good. And the artwork was a collaboration between 5 international artists. That's good. And it must be mitigations because there's no other word remaining. But I'm going to go to the answers. Okay, too important. How interesting. Your answer here is fine. It makes perfect sense. But the answer that I've got in the handbook is mitigate to the spread of. But to be honest, I prefer to adapt because we're changing our habits, aren't we? So I think that makes sense. And for H, I've got adaptations. Yeah. Oh well. Not to worry. I think two important mitigations that help cactus survive. Yeah. But I can see why adaptations is the correct one because the cactus or the cacti is adapting to the environment and the desert. But not to worry. It's not really that important. But yeah, good. Do you have any questions at all, Natalia?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Well, overall, I think very good. The thing about F and H, it's not so important. Both are grammatically correct. Both understandable. Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on. And we've got a couple of questions here. So we'll have a discussion before we finish off. Now, the first question I've got is, which famous people do you think divide opinion?
Hillary. Wait a second, please.
Sure.
Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, for example.
Yeah. Very true. They did divide opinions. All right. Any other famous people?
Right now, I only think about Poles, so I'm not sure if you know them and if you could write their names. So, No, I don't know.
Not sure. Well, the famous, well, not so famous, but maybe infamous politicians. What we call infamous is famous for the wrong reason. So Donald Trump is infamous because he tried to get people to storm the Capitol Hill, and one woman was shot dead by a police guard or somewhere, and it was very violent.
Maybe so just the main politicians.
The main politicians.
The main heads of the countries.
Maybe one of the Polish politicians who stirs up this hatred, I guess.
Everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be too long for me to count all of the names.
We don't have enough time. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Do you feel that your country did enough to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 during the first wave of the pandemic?
The first wave, maybe, but not so sure, because at the beginning, our great politicians wasn't so sure about the masks, like at the very beginning. Then, of course, they started to wear masks, but we had a small scandal in our country because our politicians bought non-testing masks, non-tested masks.
Oh, so these masks were masks which hadn't been checked to see if they were safe against COVID. Wow. Okay. All right. But I think different countries had problems with, during COVID, and the leaders of these countries were unsure how to mitigate, how to adapt to COVID entering their country. And in America, Donald Trump was very sure of, no, this will disappear by Christmas, he said last year. It will be gone. We'll forget about it. His famous quote. But of course, it's still going on. And it hasn't disappeared. It's still here. In the UK, we had problems because of, we didn't know what this virus was. We didn't know the background of it, and it was too late. And the government ordered different things from different people and friends. They're friends in companies, and they wasted a lot of money. But I think because these politicians didn't know about this virus, they tried everything. But yeah, bit of a scandal anyway.
I cannot say the same words about the politicians of my country because I would rather they spend too big amount of money for fighting with the virus than to the when you choose the president of your country, the elections,
yes,
that were planned, but for real, they weren't organized at all.
I see.
So 70 billion zlotych for nothing. Very funny.
Well, frustrating, I guess. Annoying. But, well, never mind.
Yeah.
You said a big amount of money. You could say a huge sum of money, or an extortionate amount of money. This would be more impactful, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, well done. You could have a look at the questions below in your own time and imagine an IELTS examiner asks you one of these questions and you have to prepare a 1 minute talk about it. You could think about, well, what sort of things would you answer? And we've gone through 2 of the questions, so you can go through the other 2 and have a think as well. But also in this worksheet, we've got some practice which we haven't had time to, so you could look at that and we could check our answers together in our next lesson. And then like an actual test where you have 20 minutes and you have to answer questions 1 to 7, where it's basically matching the paragraphs here A to I with the correct letter of the paragraph 1 to 7. But yeah, feel free to have a look at these, and we'll check our answers in our next class. Is that okay?
Of course.
Of course. All right. Well, do you have any final questions before we finish off?
So today I wrote my homework from the last lesson. So maybe I will put it in our Google Documents.
Yeah, if you could put it in the Google Documents, then yeah, we can go through that writing, or I could have a look at it and give you some feedback in our next class. Yeah. All right. What was the writing about? Could you remind me the writing task? Oh, right.
The sales of the games, different kinds of games.
Yes, I remember. I remember now. Thank you. So let's have a quick look. Okay, so we'd had this lesson here, didn't we?
Yeah.
And if we go across to, was it this writing task here? Yeah. Okay, that's great. So yeah, feel free to upload it. I'll have a look at it and we can check how you've done with the writing. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed our little reading activity today. But I'll see you soon, I guess. I'm just looking at our calendar, and Thursday. I have time from 1:30, so you can book a class 1:30 Thursday before it's booked up, I guess.
Okay. I will.
But yeah, thank you. Have a nice weekend, and I'll see you next week. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a
All
nice
right.
weekend.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.